Hello everyone, my name's Kai Zammit, I'm a director, cinematographer and writer, and today, to get us into the spirits of Halloween, as I'm currently filming this in October, I thought we'd look at all the cinematics to Overkill's The Walking Dead. So, play the tape. Nice establishing shot, sound effects, just ambience. Love it.
Yo, bro, why don't you pick up some groceries on your way back, alright? We're running kind of low and...
Now it's noisy.
Son, while you're living in D.C., we have to set some ground rules when your brother comes to stay with you.
I've been patient with you, Aiden. We need those schematics by 10 a.m. tomorrow, or else we need...
Mark, is your responsibility.
Come on, Aiden.
Aiden, this is your mother. Pick up the phone.
Aiden!
Everyday life.
Aiden. Aiden.
Okay. Is he happy that he's in this life? He doesn't miss the old life. I love the way the colour palette is changed as well. It's gone very grey and that dirty green. There's something fascinating about zombies or this dystopian setting. That? Or is he looking for a fight? I think he's looking for a fight, isn't he? Yeah, he's smiling, he likes it. Come on, big boy. Is it meant to sound like that? I think someone's done a dodgy cut there, or a dodgy fade. I can see a reoccurring theme here. Yeah, f that. So you see them now. Oh, I thought she was bitten then. So we're seeing past life and current life. Or current, present timeline. You know, that. If that was real life, just forget. Oh, it's a doctor, mate. Oh, he's actually still present. He knows what must be done. Shit, man. I think that would make it harder. For me personally. Even though you know it's right. I was getting into that song then, or that music. It's just what it looks like where they've cut it together, a bit of a dodgy transition. Fade your audio out. Who's this? The wise old boy, the scavenger.
I got a granddaughter who likes dressing up too. Cute as a button. She loves Peter Pan. She always asking this old-timer to read it to her. She's sharp as a tack. Full of ideas, questions about the Lost Boys and those pirates. Probably because I never grow old. She says to me, Grandpa, are you old? I said, yeah, sweetheart, I'm old, and one day you're gonna be as old as me. And this gets her brains all cooking, and she says, Grandpa, are you gonna die? And I say, yeah, sweetheart, of course I'm gonna die one day. Well, it's not gonna be today. And finally, she says to me, Grandpa, am I gonna die? Oh, how do you explain a question like that to a kid?
Is she still alive?
So when Halloween rolls around the next year, there she is. Proud as punch, she stands up and she goes, Grandpa, I'm gonna be a pirate.
Oh god, that's freaking me out. Oh, he's so close. Oh, that was clever. Oh, they still heard it, but he muffled it. Oh, it's giving me the heebie-jeebies, this.
Don't you worry, sweetheart.
The thought of them.
I'll find you. I promise.
Oh, good. I'm a sucker for a child story, man. Like, if they die or get hurt, since being a dad, I'm like I get proper like depressed or sad or emotional. I knew there would be a story like this.
She's here!
Oh, do they know her? Oh shit! Good old can to the head, or tin. Oh, now you've done it. Oh, mate. Oh! He beat the living shit out of her. Oh, will you take the backpack? Yeah. All that trouble for a bottle of 7-Up. Like a bottle of 7-Up. Oh boy.
Give me the key.
The bag.
The key.
My bag.
Sure, they can get over the top of that, right?
Good luck.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Oh, they're part of the same
Walkers.
group now.
There's a shitload of the family everywhere. Think I can see the purifier. They've already hooked it up.
Maya, Aiden, where are you?
Oh, I see. Right, okay, they're
We found
part of
way
a big
here.
group.
It's outside of the camp.
And I'm guessing these are the characters that you play in the game.
Anderson, we've spotted the purifier, but I'm not sure about this.
There is no other way. We need to get it back. Do it fast and stay quiet, or every walker in the city's gonna turn up.
Nice. This is making me want to play the game, actually.
Shit. Someone's here!
I was going to say, surely you're going to use the walkers.
We gotta go!
Whoa. Yeah, that'll do the trick.
Anderson, we got it, but we need to get out of here.
Got it. Hold tight.
This is really intense. I really like this.
Where's our ride?
He's close. Just fire the flare.
Oh, there's loads of them. Nice. That's good. Oh, I love that all backlit. Really epic. Overkill's The Walking Dead. (2019). So that's an oldie. Wow, that was quick. That went really, really fast. All the different characters. How long was it? Yeah, 12 minutes. That didn't feel like 12 minutes. I was really drawn in there. All the different backstories. That's actually made me want to play the game. I've no idea what the gameplay is like, but it's made me want to pick it up or at least get back involved with the Walking Dead franchise. And I used to really, really like it before I dropped off. But yeah, I really, really liked that. That was good. So let's break it down and see why it worked as well as it did. The first cinematic immediately drew you in, and the reason being that there was hardly any noise, just a light ambience with a wind breeze sound effect. You can hear the leaves going across the floor. What that does is it draws you in by making you focus. Then there's the juxtaposition. The noise comes crashing in of everyday life. They want you to feel how he's feeling, and they keep playing the answer phone beep sound effect to annoy you, to exaggerate that sensation.
Aiden, pick up the phone, man.
What's clever about it is they are using this method to hook the audience. Granted, it sets up the dystopian world beautifully, but by having it quiet, then loud to then quiet again, that was it. I was watching till the end like most people watching for the first time. What I really enjoyed about the transition was it wasn't an actual cut. The sunlight moved around him as if captured in a time lapse. It was a very nice way to keep you with the character in a time jump. They even continued with the character's path. He was sitting down back then, and when we jumped in time to the future, he was still sitting down. I like that. It allows the character to then show us the world when he drops down, the world building that is taking place here. To support that evidence, when the time jump happened, it was referencing the opening shot, and that's why they lingered on it. They had a motivated camera movement, which means the subject is moving within the frame as the camera moves. This movement was used to what we call it change. The scene is developing. We start at his feet, and by the end, the camera has pedestaled up to his face, but also his surroundings. It starts with rubbish to then bodies building the world that we're invited to. The second cinematic, again, it started with the ambience to draw you in. Other than that dodgy audio fade that wasn't there, whomever edited this cut, the original cut, it would have drawn you in just like the previous cinematic. The use of close-ups here is a fantastic way to introduce a character. It actually does multiple things. One, it builds momentum for the character, the final reveal. Two, it informs the audience that this is a leading character of the story, or they play a major part of the story. And three, it allows the audience to connect with the character, to leave that imprint, to help help us feel something when the character has to make a decision, regardless of what it might be. In this case, and I felt it in that moment, and that was to pull the trigger on a friend. Shit, man. The time jump transitions and how they were different. With the complementary sound effect, they hard cut to the future. But every time we jump back in time, they used a hard cut to black. That's the difference. And then with the hard cut to black, they faded out. If they stuck with hard cuts, the audience would get confused. Eagle-eyed watchers may be able to tell the difference, main thing being the color grade, but most people they wouldn't. If they only used cut to blacks, the audience would get bored. Too much time between each shot would lose the audience. They'll look away from the screen and you don't want that. When she was faced with the hard decision, what I really liked about this moment is the lack of music. It's more of a continuous drone sound that draws you into the scene. Just before this, it was loud, which makes this moment in time way more effective. Another thing I noticed was the character's placement on screen and how they focused on her rather than him as she pulls the trigger. To me, that was a subtext, and a subtext means a story within a story. In the past, she pulled the trigger camera right. Then in the future, she jumped back being camera left. That was her shooting her past self. That old version of her wouldn't survive, and that's why she starts to punch the mirror. The third cinematic, and for me personally my favourite one, the reason being is it was simple, and I'm a big believer in less is more. This was a character telling you a story, and because it was primarily dialogue, his words carried weight. I listened, I wanted to know more, I was curious to find out about the fate of his granddaughter. It had a very Quentin Tarantino feel about it, with his heavy dialogue scenes that is, and he's a storyteller who draws me in with those scenes. I'm listening, I want to know more. Something else he does with those scenes is he makes it feel like there's a timer, and this was the same. A lot of the shots are wide or medium wides at the beginning, and as the story continues, the zombie next to him gets closer and closer. But as it continues, the closer the zombie gets, the closer the camera gets to its subjects. That timer of when is he going to get him? Oh god, that's freaking me out. Oh, he's so close. Yeah, as I said, this was my favourite cinematic, and it reminded me of why I fell in love with the original series. It was a series that made me feel on edge all the time, just like this cinematic. Oh, it's giving me the heebie-jeebies, this. The fourth cinematic had a fantastic subtext of a stereotypical mum's life who gets her bag stolen. Evidence of this can be seen in the opening shot with the locked off camera on the shopping cart, the trolley, just happily going around picking up her groceries, popping it in the cart. Yeah, I just thought that was brilliant. What's interesting is how the camera movement changed the tone of the story. It reflects how the characters feel. The cart shot, lovely and stable. The zombie outside, the camera trucks to the left, also nice and smooth. The feet walking in, nice and stable as it dollies backwards, or the camera dollies backwards. When it returns to the mum character, the camera is now handheld. The movement is random, and what we call it is, well, random motion. It's used to build the intensity of the scene, and it creates energy within the shot. With this, however, it started to smoothen off nearer the end, to climatise, I should we say, to get us ready for the trailer shot, and that was the glass in the throat. What I would have expected was it to have been shaky camera up until she sort of gets bopped on the head, then the smooth motion would have returned, which it did, and that reflects control within the environment, aka the scene. That shot of her lying there on the floor where the camera does a slow dolly movement towards her, that moment again really supports the mum weak character mugging subtext I mentioned earlier, but the later reveal how she's evolved as a character, but again still asks for the bag, not a backpack, she asks for a bag, sort of putting a bow on that subtext that I mentioned.
My bag.
This cinematic for me had the best cinematography, that low sun golden hour, lovely oranges that complement the white natural light coming in from the roof. I'm doing it right now, all this lighting around me up here is 5500 Kelvin colour temperature, daylight range. Back there is 2700 Kelvin to go with my lamp. They've got the sun, I've got a trusted lamp. This also had the most cinematic presence, again thanks to the lighting. Most of the internal shots were backlit, so the light shining from the back, and they had lovely long shadows on them, and that is cinema. The last cinematic is the payoff, the characters coming together. Even though we've only spent a small amount of time with them individually, when they're together it carries weight and meaning to us. A bit like the Avengers, we got to know them through each of their films, so when they meet for the first time or we see them on screen together, it hits differently. This is obviously a much smaller scale of that, but effectively the same. I would probably say that that was the best bit of this cinematic, seeing them actually together, but story-wise, the basic snatch and grab is definitely the weakest of the cinematics. I believe this was to showcase what you would be doing in the game and how each character plays their part. It also sets up the bigger overall picture, for example, introducing us to a character, the chap on the other end of the walkie-talkie.
Anderson, we've spotted the purifier, but I'm not sure about this.
There is no other way.
There was a couple of cool moments when the two characters were helping one another to fight the big shield guy, and I liked the cinematography. I liked that it was shot at blue hour, changing the colour palette between the cinematics, but they should have shown a few shots of the walkers overrunning the base and building pressure for our characters. When we see it on the characters' faces and their body language, we feel it too. An example would be one of the main characters or lead characters runs around the corner from the gunfire and crashes headfirst into a walker, falling backwards. And then the walker was, from its stumble from the bump, would then fall onto the character, almost having that oh my god, it's going to bite it moment. A small scene like that, the struggle, the desperation, and showing it on the character's face, it would have really elevated this story and cinematic. What I'm trying to get out here is sometimes it really is as simple as less is more, and story comes first. I know from this group of cinematics which ones will still be in my head 6 months to a year later. And what about you? Did any of these cinematics leave that lasting impression? Let me know down below, yeah? And lastly, I just want to thank my Patreon members, and a very special thank you to my Cobra Kai Black Belt member, Jamie Rowe. Thank you so much, man. The fact that you're doing this for me means the absolute world to me. Thank you. And there you have it, that was my thoughts and reactions on the Overkill's The Walking Dead. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, guys, and if you did, give it a thumbs up, as it really does help out the channel, it really does. And would you like to see some more? Did you enjoy the Filmmaker's Breakdown? Well, if so, consider subscribing so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.